Hey guys, Ziz here. A lot of you have been asking about CI, so I decided to make a guide for it. Let's start off with the basics. This is the Keystone passive Chaos Inoculation. It sets your life to 1 while making you immune to chaos damage. Behind it are some good energy shield nodes. One of them gives more energy shield, which is a multiplier for your entire pool. If all of this sounds strong, it is. CI is supposed to have some weaknesses, like the lack of health potions. However, with instant leech, ghost reaver, and things like Cells to make you safer, I'd argue it's safer in every single way. CI is more gear dependent since you don't get energy shield per level. But if you watched my starter CI gear video, I show how you can make cheap energy shield gear for less than 10 to 15 C. I recommend getting the CI nodes when you have at least a 250 energy shield on your helmet and your shield, and then around 500 on your chest, and this is pretty doable on a cheap budget. On the rest of your gear like gloves, rings, boots, just try to get as much as possible. In addition to this, you need a decent amount of energy shield nodes on the tree. I usually go for around 200 on a 90 plus tree. When you transition around 69, you'll probably have around 140 to 160%. The transition usually happens around 69. That's when you have enough skill points and you can equip a Valor Regalia and a Huber Surf and stuff like that. The next weakness of CI is that stun and stun resistance is based on your maximum life. When you get CI, this is based on what your life would have been without it being reduced to 1. You're quite vulnerable to getting stunned. You need to get some form of stun immunity. This can come from Eye of Chayula, Valerium, Skyforth, or Kiaras. Generally, you use the Eye of Chayula on a build that wouldn't get a big damage boost from a necklace, since you can get stats like crit chance and crit mode. If you're a build like Crit Blade Flurry, it makes more sense to use a Valerium or Kiaras. Kiaras does put a lot more pressure on the player to use because of its short duration, and you need to clear fast to keep the charges up. Using Val Discipline gives you a big ES boost and regen. Finally, there aren't flasks that regenerate your energy shield like there are for life. You can, however, use Sorrow of the Divine, which gives you the Cells of Keystone, which lets your life regen worse on energy shield, and it also gives Consecrated Ground, which gives you additional regen. Life Leech doesn't naturally apply to energy shield. You need to take the Ghost Reaver Keystone, which allows Life Leech to apply to energy. The Occultist Ascendancy for Witch has such things as Wicked Ward, Vile Bastion that provide energy shield sustain in other forms. As for flasks, it's best to use at least 4 utility flasks and if necessary a mana flask. But I do my best to not need mana flasks on all my builds. The way I achieve this is usually leech on boots for any skill that does direct damage. So it doesn't matter if you're doing elemental damage, physical damage, or chaos damage, it just leeches damage as long as you've killed recently. Obviously this does not work for bosses. Generally, you want to try to use a Basalt, Granite. If you're shield charging, you really want to use a Quicksilver. And you have like a lot of options of unique flasks based on what build you're playing. Hopefully this guide helps shed some light on CI for a lot of you. And if you have any questions, you can come by twitch.tv/Zizaran and ask them there. Thank you for watching, and guys, try to die less than I do.